One of the first things that comes to mind after watching Game 5 of this year's finals was a Game 5 10 years ago. 2016 Game 5, Bron and Kyrie at 41. This is known as the Bron and Kyrie 41 game. I mean, we need to come up with a better name for it because that was a really, really dope time in NBA history. To start to come back, they're down 3-1, Game 5, boom. Now it's 3-2 after LeBron and Kyrie both had 41 in the game. And this was kind of a similar situation. The Thunder were only down 2-1, so it's not that insane. And they tied it up in Indiana, so it's 4-4. Go back to Game 5. Now they're up 3-2 after winning Game 5. In this game, they easily outplayed themselves in terms of their averages. Shai this year averaged 33, leading the NBA, 6 and 5. And in yesterday's game, he had 31 points, 2 rebounds, and 10 assists. So just under his season average mark of scoring, rebounds, whatever. 10 assists. Now for Shai, this is a dude who's very, very ball dominant, but not a super great. I don't want to say he's a bad facilitator, but he's not one guy who's going to rack up a ton of assists. He's not like a Luka or a Halliburton, I guess, right? So now overall, I don't want to say that this game is like a crazy Shai and J-Dub game. I think it's way more of a J-Dub game, but Shai also played well because of this 10 assists, because he had 13 made free throws, and he shot 9 for 21 from the field, which is not, like, bad. It's not bad. It's fine. It's fine. J-Dub averages 22 points per game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 46 and 4. He only had 9 made free throws. He shot 14 for 25 from the field. So J-Dub easily took a step, and he had a couple and ones. I think like maybe 2 or 3 and ones. Very, very good in transition. That's where he got a lot of his buckets, like dunks. But then it came down to ISO, whether Shai was on the court, off the court. J-Dub seemingly had the ball in his hands the majority of the time and was just making moves. Jumper, freaking cash. He had one in the third quarter when the Pacers are making their comeback. TJ McConnell, I'll talk about that in a little bit. He's going right side, and he kind of just does like this hang float off glass. And I was just like, wow, like that's a shot where you know that this guy's getting something going. Like you don't hit that shot normally if you're not like on something right now. And he was on something this game. But yeah, I asked my brother. We were watching this game of Buffalo Wild Wings, just hanging out. It was pretty funny. I asked him, I said, hey, like how good do you think J-Dub's going to end up being? He said J-Dub's a future MVP candidate, which no, he said not candidate. He said he will win an MVP. So I'll get a quote from him specifically. But then that's a video for another day. But I said, okay, would you rather have J-Dub or Ant? Like, would you trade J-Dub if you could get Ant on this team? And he said no. And I was like, he's a Thunder fan, by the way. Obviously, that's why I'm asking him these questions. I was like, oh boy, he's got a lot of people like J-Dub a lot, and that's me too. I love J-Dub, but I think that he's going to be a really, really good Robin. Now, later this summer, maybe in a week or so, 2 weeks, we'll be talking about the Thunder and their contract problems and their money, because that's going to be a very, very big issue for this dynasty. Very reminiscent of like 10, 15 years ago with that Thunder team, where they had Russ, KD, and Harden, and didn't want to pay Harden $40 million or whatever it was. Harden dipped, goes to Houston. Now we know what happened with that, right? So could be a similar situation with Shai, J-Dub, and Chet, especially with Shai winning an MVP, just like KD won an MVP, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for this team. But they went from down 2-1 to up 3-2. Very, very impressive. So one of the things I want to talk about with this switch was they finally started Isaiah Hartenstein. For the first 3 games of the finals, they'd started Cason Wallace, and he has not been very good. I think his plus-minus was around -9 or 10 for those 3 games. Hasn't been playing great in the starting position. Now, I understand that they wanted to play small, and they wanted to play, kind of up-tempo with the Pacers, but I just felt, especially in Game 1, Game 2 not as much, but Game 3 specifically, that I was like, you stop playing the Pacers game. You've been running double bigs the whole season when Chet was healthy. And you just have to run that. You got to play your game. And finally, they win 2 games in a row, and those 2 games are starting Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, I want to talk about his impact, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, obviously watching it, he makes a difference. And then you look at the box score and you're like, he had like 4 points and like 3 rebounds and like 3 fouls, 20 minutes. Why is he playing 20 minutes? And it just kind of like sparked this spiral for me. So in all 5 games of the finals, Isaiah Hartenstein has, in Game 1, it was 17 minutes. then 22 minutes, then 18 minutes, then 21 minutes, then 21 minutes. So he's only playing at max 22 minutes a game. At max in the finals. And when he started even, he was kind of playing the same amount of minutes. So I was like, what is his impact? Like, is he really that impactful? And we'll talk about this later in the offseason on keeping him, moving him, how he fits with the Thunder, moving on. And now there's a lot of other things to talk about with, you know, how is he in the locker room? He seems like a stand-up guy. Seems really dope. Good vet for these young guys. But he's one of the only guys that are actually paying. And so I understand that, you know, on the eye test, he's a good player. But it's like, why is he not playing at least 30 minutes a game? Don't understand. Off the bench, he's playing as much as when he starts. And then that's saying, okay, well, if that's the case, why is he not playing much? Especially when they're one of the big, you know, resurgent teams of the double big. And it worked, obviously. When they played, they were doing really, really well. I don't know. His drop in minutes is very interesting. We'll talk about that later. But that, to me, shows that the Thunder are so much more dangerous than what we see now. Because this team might need a little bit more, you know, trimming, tweaking. And if they can get something even more right, it's going to be sketchy. Like, they're going to be really, really good. I was asking my brother, I said, hey, you know, I was asking him on the topic of trading Jada for Ant, like, who would you trade between the Thunder places? If it was kind of like a one-on-one starting center for starting center. And he was like, oh, yeah, I would easily trade iHeart for Miles Turner. Probably not an even trade. But I was like, man, if they get a better piece than Isaiah Hartenstein. And iHeart's good. But he's kind of like the Caruso where it's a lot of my stuff isn't impacting the box score. And he's not a great offensive go-to guy. I wouldn't say great. Chet's not even a great offensive go-to guy yet. Not yet. I want to see that later from him. But Isaiah Hartenstein, I think them like, if they can move him and get someone like a Miles Turner who could space the floor better and is a better shot blocker, just a better overall starting center. Someone like that, I'm like, how many upgrades can this team make? Because they have a really, really good lineup. But then you start looking at it, getting nitpicky, and you're like, wow, if Sam Presti like locks in and gets someone like this to slot in a piece, woo-wee, we can get dangerous next couple years of this team. So another thing I want to talk about, and I'll probably have this in a video later, but Chet might not be what we think. I mean, it was like the big three with Shade-Up, and Chet. And I'm like, I don't know if belongs there. I don't know if he's there. Obviously, in theory, with the young core that they got, it's those three guys. But I'm like, these two guys just had a game, and Chet was kind of over here doing good things, helping, you know, contributing to winning. But big three is a really huge thing to kind of fill. Big shoes to fill, and he's got big feet, so I don't know if that'll help. Not much to talk with the Pacers here. TJ McConnell had a good run in the third quarter. Siakam played well. I mean, I think he shot 9 for 15, 28 points, 3 for 5 from 3. Pretty good. Halliburton's probably hurt, so I don't really want to talk about him and be like, oh, he didn't step up or it's a fake injury, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't look too good. So, do the Pacers lose Game 6? Yes. I think the Thunder come in and win Game 6 in Indiana and they close it out. Now, would they like to win it in 7? At home? Probably. That'd probably be pretty fun. But I'd rather get this game over with in Indiana. And I was talking to my brother about this because I was like, hey, I think you guys might be able to do that. Go in Indiana and not steal the game, but win. And then from 2-1 up with the Pacers to the series is closed, 4-2. People are going to look back, and I don't want people to look back and be like, damn, man, 4-2 with the Pacers. This series is not as close as maybe we thought. And that is not true at all. Not true at all. So I kind of hope it goes to Game 7, but I just don't know if the Pacers have it in them maybe to stop this. They've got a lot of momentum in OKC, and they're going to bring that sucker to Indiana. And I have the Thunder winning 4-2 in Indiana on Game 6. So, I mean, that's winning 3 straight. They're down 2-1, and they win 4-2. We'll see how that ends up being, but got a lot of fun stuff on the channel for y'all. And I don't know if I'm going to announce it yet, but I got a lot of cool things coming from me in the near future. And we're going to blow up, boy. This is going to happen. So, appreciate y'all for watching the videos. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. We out.